I want to be really honest. Talking about money publicly still feels very uncomfortable for me. Not because I don't care about it, but for a long time, I thought money is something that I should already understand and didn't. But what I learned along the way is that avoiding money actually costs a lot more than dealing with it. It creates stress, uncertainty, and that feeling of being stuck. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's felt those feelings before. Kia ora te whānau, ko Jackie kutia tōku ingoa, he uri ahau nō ngā pui. I'm starting a new long-form series here on YouTube called Money Chats. This is a space for honest and real conversations about money based on my own lived experience here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I want to make it clear that I'm not a financial expert and this is not financial advice. It's simply me sharing what I'm learning as I go, as a mama, a wife, and a small business owner, and all the other hats that I wear. For a long time, money felt very overwhelming for me, to the point where I avoided looking at my bank accounts because I was scared to know the truth of actually how bad of a situation I was in. And there was also a lot of, I would say, quiet shame that I had internally. One, because of the mistakes that I had made in the past, and two, because I felt like I didn't have all the tools or the knowledge to actually understand money and how to best use it. Don't get me wrong, I was definitely getting by and had a lot of great opportunities, especially with money, but I didn't feel confident or in control of it. It wasn't until I met my husband, I became a wife, and then certainly when I became a mama, I really had to sit with myself, understand the reasonings on my money story, my history, my trauma with money, because I didn't want that to affect our future. I didn't want to be living week by week. I wanted to build something sustainable for myself, for my husband, and our growing whānau. That's when I believe I really made the change and wanted to start making some positive choices and to not be held back by the trauma of my previous money story and look towards the future. How can I create better money habits and better habits in general today to help my future self and to help my whānau? The biggest mindset shift for me, I believe, was understanding that money is a skill. If no one teaches you, then of course you're not going to know what's going on. I believe that's a huge thing here in Aotearoa in New Zealand. If I, for example, in high school had a class where the teacher taught you about financial literacy, what's interest, what's good debt, what's bad debt, I think that would have really helped to prepare me for becoming an adult and making all of these adult decisions. My parents also weren't that great with money. Sorry mum, sorry dad, but that didn't really set me up for making decisions and being an adult and just understanding the impact of the decisions that you make with money, especially when you are coming into adulthood and you're earning a good income. But once I stopped judging myself and started getting curious about money, that's when things started to change for me. It didn't happen overnight and it's not perfect, but through small, consistent habits over time. This is pretty much what my series is going to be about. In this Money Chats series, I'll be sharing with you guys how we budget as a family. How do we accurately track our money? So I'll physically be going through with you guys our budgeting spreadsheets for both our personal and our business and go through this line by line so you can see all the nitty gritty on our income, our outgoings, expenses, pretty much everything. I'll also be going through my goals. I am a very goal setter, ambitious person, and I would really love to share my goals with you guys and track those along the way as well and see how far I do by the end of the year. I'll also be doing real monthly money breakdowns. That's a lot of words to say. But in this, you'll basically see how we've tracked for the month, what goals we hit, and then setting up our budget for the new month. This is not to show off, and it's definitely not to show you that I've got everything figured out, because I absolutely don't. I'm learning just as much as you guys. But I guess it gives you a perspective on what it really looks like here for a husband and wife and a beautiful baby toddler who is currently on a part-time income, so one part-time income as well as a small business income. In the next video, I will be sharing our January money breakdown. So that was what came in, what came out, and what we learned along the way. If this sounds helpful, I'd love for you to stick around. Please subscribe and be a part of my journey. Thank you for being here, e te whānau, and this is just the beginning. Mauri ora.